I tried to plan a hangout with 3 old friends last week. Took 11 days just to find one date that worked.
11 days for one dinner.
One dinner. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're asking why adults basically stop making real friends.
And why keeping the old ones somehow got just as hard.
17% of Americans now say they have 0 close friends, up from just 3% in 1990.
5 times higher in one generation.
Another 49% have 3 or fewer close friends total.
So basically half the country is running on a very thin friend roster.
That actually doesn't surprise me. I could probably count my real ones on one hand at this point.
Same, honestly. And I used to have a whole group in college.
Where'd they all go?
Excellent question. I genuinely don't have a clean answer.
That's actually the wild part. It's rarely one dramatic falling out, it's just slow disappearance.
Agreeing. We're getting into that properly in part 2. For now, let's stick with just how big this shift really is.
Close friendships among men specifically have dropped by half since 1990.
Half? That's not a small dip.
And men with 0 close friends went from 3% to 15%, a 5-fold jump.
That tracks with basically every guy I know over 30, honestly.
Including you?
Including me. I've got exactly 2 people I'd call if something actually went wrong.
That's such a real, honest thing to admit on camera.
It's the whole point of this episode, right? Being honest about it.
Completely. And this isn't just an older guy problem either. Men 15 to 34 are actually the loneliest group in the entire Western world right now.
Younger men specifically? I'd have guessed older, more isolated guys.
Nope, it's hitting young the hardest.
Stick with us. Next, we're getting into why this is hitting men so much harder than women.
Let's dig into the gender gap because it's genuinely striking.
Only 21% of men said they got emotional support from a friend in the past week.
Compare that to 41% of women, basically double.
So women aren't necessarily less lonely, they're just better resourced for it.
Interestingly, men and women actually report feeling lonely at pretty similar rates overall.
So the feeling's the same, but the support system around it isn't?
Exactly. Women seem to maintain the actual infrastructure of friendship better as adults.
That checks out with my own friend group, honestly. My girlfriend has a group text that's active daily.
And yours?
Mine went quiet around the same time everyone got serious relationships or moved.
So basically the second life got busy, the guys just evaporated.
Painfully accurate description.
There's a theory around this too. A lot of men's friendships were historically built around shared activities, not direct emotional check-ins.
Agreed. Sports leagues, work, college classes. Once that shared structure disappears, so does the natural reason to talk.
Do you think that's actually true or a bit of a stereotype?
Genuinely true for me. My closest college friendships were built around a shared dorm floor and intramural basketball.
And once that ended?
Honestly, the friendship needed actual effort to survive, and honestly, none of us were great at that part.
I actually think this isn't purely a men's issue, though. I think women just get socialized earlier to actively maintain relationships.
That's fair. It's less men can't and more nobody ever taught them to.
Which feels like a more useful way to think about it than just men are bad at friendship.
All right, let's actually get into our own personal stories, because I know you've got one loaded.
All right, my story. My college roommate and I used to talk every single day.
And now?
I just checked. Last real conversation was 4 months ago.
4 months? You two seemed inseparable back then.
We were. Nothing happened, nobody fought. We just both got busy and never actively fixed the gap.
That's basically the exact story with my best friend from high school.
How long's it been for you two?
Longer than I want to admit. We still like each other's posts, though.
The modern friendship life support system, liking a photo instead of actually calling.
It counts as something, right?
It counts as almost nothing, and you know it.
Fair. Brutally fair.
I actually tried an experiment a while back. Texted 5 old friends the same simple message. Thinking of you. We should catch up.
How many actually followed through?
1 out of 5.
That's a rough success rate.
And even that one took 3 more weeks of back and forth just to land a date.
I did something similar once, reached out to an old work friend after almost 2 years silent.
How'd that go?
Actually great, surprisingly. We picked up like no time had passed at all.
That's honestly kind of hopeful. Sometimes the friendship's still there, just dormant.
Dormant, not dead. I think that distinction matters a lot for this whole topic.
So if you've got someone you haven't talked to in way too long, maybe that's your sign to actually reach out today.
Next part, we're getting into why these friendships fade in the first place and why it's almost never a dramatic fight.
Thanks for sticking with us through this first part.
See you in the next one.
Let's talk about how these friendships actually end, because it's rarely dramatic.
Researchers actually have a name for it now, the slow mutual exhale.
No fight, no last conversation, just a group chat that gets quieter and quieter until it's basically dead.
That's exactly what happened with my old roommate group. Nobody decided to stop talking, it just thinned out.
Same with mine. If you asked either of us what happened, we genuinely couldn't point to a moment.
It's almost worse than a real fight in a way. At least a fight gives you closure.
This just leaves you wondering if they're mad or busy or if you did something wrong.
Meanwhile, they're probably wondering the exact same thing about you.
Two people mutually assuming the other one gave up first.
A very quiet, very mutual standoff that neither person actually chose.
People genuinely care about each other in these stories too, which is the strange part.
It's not indifference, it's exhaustion. People just run out of energy to keep initiating.
I've caught myself doing this, wanting to text someone, then just not, because it felt like effort I didn't have that day.
Constantly. And then that one day turns into a month, and the month turns into the 4 months you mentioned last part.
It compounds so quietly you don't notice the gap until it's already huge.
Next, let's get into the digital side of this, because your phone is doing something weird to your friendships.
You are right.
All right, digital friendship burnout. Real term researchers actually use now.
Break it down.
It's exhaustion that comes from a lack of connection, but from too much of the wrong kind.
So it's not that we're not talking to people, it's that most of the talking doesn't actually feel like anything.
Liking a story, reacting with an emoji, leaving one word in a group chat. Technically contact, barely connection.
My group chat has like 30 messages a day, and somehow I feel less close to those people than ever.
That tracks. Volume went up, depth went down.
Americans are spending over 7 hours a day on screens now, by the way.
7 hours. That time has to come from somewhere.
A lot of it's eating into the actual in-person hangout time that used to build real friendships.
Personally, I've got a group chat with 11 people in it. I could not tell you the last time all 11 of us actually met up.
How long, roughly?
Genuinely, maybe 3 years.
3 years of daily memes and 0 actual hangouts.
An extremely active graveyard, essentially.
There's also this weird pressure where texting back perfectly or meaningfully becomes its own barrier.
You see the message, think, I'll respond properly later, and then never actually do it.
I have unread messages from actual close friends sitting for literally weeks because I want to reply, well.
The bar you set for yourself becomes the reason nothing happens at all.
Ironic, honestly. The tool built to keep us close ends up adding its own friction.
Which brings us to the real debate. Is social media actually the villain here, or just taking the blame for something else?
All right, my take, social media is genuinely a big part of the villain here.
I actually disagree. I think it's an easy scapegoat for something deeper.
Explain that.
People blame the phone, but the phone didn't move everyone to different cities or make housing unaffordable or add hours to commutes.
Fair, those are real structural factors too.
I think social media is more of a symptom or maybe an accelerant, not the original cause.
But it does actively replace the low-effort contact that used to build friendship naturally. That's not nothing.
That part I agree with completely. It changed the type of contact we get, even if it didn't cause the underlying disconnection.
There's actual data on this too. Neighbors used to be a huge source of casual friendship. Only 40% of people talk to neighbors regularly now, down from 59% just over a decade ago.
That's not really a phone problem, though. That's more about how we live now.
Okay, that part I'll give you. The neighborhood dying feels bigger than an app problem.
I think it's a mix. Structural changes broke the old system, and then social media filled the gap with something that just isn't the same.
Filled the gap badly, but filled it, which almost makes it harder to notice something's actually missing.
So maybe we're both a little right. Real cause is structural. Social media just makes the absence less obvious day to day.
Look at us landing on nuance again instead of just fighting the whole time.
We really can't help ourselves.
So today's takeaway, your phone isn't solely to blame, but it's definitely not helping either. The real story runs deeper.
Next part, we're getting into that deeper story, the actual neighborhood and community structures that quietly disappeared.
Thanks for sticking with us through this one.
And quick reminder before we dive in, if this series has been hitting home for you at all, hit like and subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel a lot.
Okay, on to part 3. Let's talk about the neighborhood, because I think it quietly died and nobody noticed.
We touched on that neighbor stat back in part 2, the drop from 59% to 40% chatting with neighbors regularly.
Right, and it's worth actually sitting with what that number represents, not just the number itself.
It's not just fewer hellos. Entire friendships used to start from exactly that kind of casual contact.
Think about what that actually used to look like. Mailbox chats, borrowing tools, watching a game over the fence.
My parents still talk about neighbors they made lifelong friends with just from being outside at the same time, constantly.
That's the whole mechanism, really. Low pressure, repeated contact with no real effort required.
Nobody had to plan it. You just existed near each other enough times that friendship happened almost by accident.
I've lived in my current apartment 2 years and couldn't tell you my neighbor's name.
2 years?
Not in the hallway. That's the entire relationship.
Very deep bond you two have.
Practically inseparable.
So researchers call these casual daily spots third places. Not home, not work, just somewhere you naturally show up and see the same people.
Barbershops, diners, churches, local bars. A lot of those have genuinely faded or gotten replaced by things you do alone.
Coffee shop with headphones in instead of the neighborhood diner where everyone knew your order. Stick with us. Next, we're getting into why nothing ever really replaced that structure once it disappeared.
So why didn't anything actually replace those third places once they faded?
Partly convenience. Everything got optimized for solo, efficient use instead of lingering around other people.
Grocery pickup instead of wandering the store. Streaming instead of the movie theater lobby. Delivery instead of the diner counter.
Every friction point that used to accidentally connect us got smoothed away.
I do genuinely love grocery pickup, though, not gonna lie.
Nobody's saying convenience is bad, just that it quietly removed a bunch of tiny social moments.
Agreed. Death by 1,000 efficient cuts, basically.
Remote work plays into this too. A lot of people lost their main daily third place without realizing that's what the office actually was.
Even an office you don't love still puts you around the same people repeatedly.
I went fully remote 3 years ago. Didn't expect how much I'd miss just casual hallway small talk.
Curious, did you try to replace it with anything?
Tried a co-working space for a month, never talked to a single person there.
A room full of strangers all pretending to be productive in total silence.
Exactly that energy. Very quiet, very isolating, despite being surrounded by people.
That's the cruel irony, honestly. Being physically near people isn't the same as actually connecting with them anymore.
The structure that used to force connection is gone, and nothing forces it in the same low-effort way now.
Which means friendship now genuinely requires intention. It used to just happen passively.
Let's get into our own attempts, successful or not, at actually making adult friends on purpose.
All right, adult friend-making attempts. I'll go first, and it's a little embarrassing.
Even better. Go on.
I joined a friendship app, which is a genuinely real category now, like dating apps, but platonic.
Swiping for friends. What a concept.
Matched with someone, we texted for 2 weeks, planned coffee, and she never showed up.
Ghosted on a friend date. That's a new low for the concept of ghosting.
A whole new tier of rejection nobody warned me about.
My turn. I joined an adult rec league basketball team specifically to meet people.
Curious, how'd that go?
Everyone was perfectly nice, but it stayed strictly see you Tuesdays energy the entire season.
No off-court friendship at all?
Zero. We hugged after the championship game and then never spoke again.
A whole emotional arc condensed into one hug.
Beautiful while it lasted, gone the second the season ended.
I actually did have one attempt that worked, though. Joined a book club purely to meet people. Didn't even care about the books.
Curious, did it work?
Genuinely, yes. 3 of us still get lunch monthly, a year later.
See, that's actually hopeful. Repeated, low-stakes contact around a shared activity. Same principle as the old third places.
Just intentionally recreated instead of naturally occurring.
Which might be the real modern version of making friends. You have to build the structure yourself now.
So if you're trying to make friends as an adult right now, it might take a few failed attempts before something actually sticks. That's normal, not a personal failure.
Next part, we wrap this whole series with whether you can actually fix this and what genuinely works.
And remember, hit like and subscribe to Conversation Point if this series has resonated with you at all.
See you in the final part.
Final part of this series. Let's talk about what's actually working for people rebuilding friendships.
Your book club story from last part is honestly a good template. Recurring, low stakes, built around something other than let's be friends.
Agreed. That seems to be the pattern across most success stories. Repetition beats intensity.
Personal. A coworker of mine joined a recurring trivia night. Same bar, same time, every week.
Curious, did it actually turn into real friendships?
Slowly. Nobody exchanged numbers the first few weeks. By month 3, they had a group chat.
That timeline actually tracks with a lot of the research, too. Real closeness takes dozens of hours of contact, spread out.
Which explains why one good hangout rarely creates lasting friendship on its own.
Personal. I tried something similar, signed up for a recurring hiking group instead of a one-off event.
Curious, how's that going?
Genuinely well. Same 6 or 7 people most weekends now.
The same people, same time, repeatedly, seems to be the actual secret.
Agreed. It's basically recreating the old neighborhood effect, just on purpose instead of by accident.
Next, let's get into a real debate. Is making adult friends mostly about effort, or is a lot of it just luck?
All right, effort versus luck. I'll take effort. I think most people who say they can't make friends just aren't actually trying consistently.
I disagree, at least partly. Luck plays a bigger role than people admit. Being in the right city, the right job, the right life stage matters enormously.
Okay, that's fair. Someone in a small town with no local scene has a genuinely harder starting point.
Right. It's not purely a mindset problem. Circumstances shape your options a lot.
But within whatever circumstances you're in, effort still seems to be what separates people who actually build something from people who stay stuck.
That I'll give you. 2 people in the same city, same options, different effort levels, usually end up in very different places.
My hiking group story only worked because I kept showing up. Even on weekends, I didn't feel like it.
That consistency is basically the whole ball game, honestly.
Compare that to my friendship app story from last part. 1 attempt, 1 ghosting, and I almost gave up on the whole idea entirely.
1 bad match, and you nearly quit the entire concept of making friends.
I contain multitudes, apparently.
So maybe luck sets your starting conditions, but effort determines whether you actually build on them.
That feels like the honest answer. Neither purely earns it, neither purely explains it.
Look at us, finding the middle ground one final time.
A whole series of us bickering our way into agreement.
Let's actually close this whole series out properly.
All right, 4 parts, a lot of honesty. Let's actually close this out.
The numbers are real. 17% with no close friends, men's friendships cut in half since 1990.
But it's rarely one dramatic cause. It's a slow fade, digital burnout, and a dead neighborhood structure all stacked together.
And rebuilding it takes the same low-effort repetition that used to happen by accident, just done on purpose now.
I actually texted my old college roommate after we recorded part 1, by the way.
Did she respond?
Better than that, we're getting dinner next week.
That's honestly the perfect way to close this whole series.
Agreed. 4 months of silence undone by 1 text. It really can be that simple sometimes.
I finally messaged my old work friend too, the 2-year silent one.
And?
Already planning to grab a drink. Felt ridiculous how easy it actually was once I just did it.
To our audience, if there's someone you've been meaning to reach out to this whole series, that's genuinely your sign. Send the text.
Thank you for sticking with us through this entire series. It got more personal than we expected going in.
I did not expect to publicly admit my friendship app ghosting story, but here we are.
Character development, 4 parts in a row.
If this series resonated with you at all, make sure to like and subscribe to Conversation Point. It genuinely helps us keep making these.
And drop a comment telling us about a friendship you let fade, or one you actually managed to save. We want to hear it.
We'll see you in the next one. Take care, and go text that one friend.